I'm a rebel at heart, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how petty your expectations is. I'm not meeting them, and I don't care to meet them. Like, don't put no expectations on me. I hate it, right? And I'm not gonna say I hate it, but for the mere fact that sometimes expectations are pretty much selfish.
Have you ever been like so frustrated because things aren't going your way?
Yeah, all the time. All the time, bro.
In leadership, it is one of the most aggravating things where it's like you have these goals or these things you're trying to accomplish.
Right.
And sometimes sometimes certain members of the team are not as focused as they should be or could be.
Okay.
And today we're going to talk about eliminating your expectations as a leader.
That sucks. We got to eliminate what?
Expectations.
What is that thing you always say?
What's that?
You got the goals and then you got the expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we just got to eliminate
them? Just eliminate. Just get rid of them.
Okay.
So, story time. We're going to start with a story.
Wait.
Story time.
There we go.
So, story time.
Okay.
So, I get a text message this morning, actually, from one of my assistant managers, and they're like, they let me know what they did, and I was like, great job, right? And they were like, now I just got to get everybody to love me.
Okay.
Because I've been talking to him about like, you got to teach people how to love you. You got to teach people how to respect you.
Right.
Not just necessarily like employees, but like accounts, just everybody, right? Everybody in your life, you got to be able to teach them what you expect from them. If that makes sense. You can't hold somebody to an expectation, or you can't expect them to do things the way that you want them to do. Right. You got to like mold that into them. He kind of brought it into leading people. Right. And he was saying, I want them to care as much as I do.
That's heavy.
Yeah. And he's like I want to be the best. I don't want to be mediocre. Mm-hmm. Like that's what I'm trying to do.
Is that possible though?
Which part?
You want them to care as much as you do. Is that possible?
Ooh, that's a good question. See,
it goes back to the initial title.
Yeah.
Alleviating your expectations.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it is.
Right.
Like, I don't think it, and this is why I say that.
Mm-hmm.
As much as driven as I am, as much as like I care about being the best, and I like my RVP cares more than I do. Not saying that's a bad way of wording it. She's focused on different things, probably more impactful things than I am. Right. So to her, I might not care as much because I'm not focused on what she's focused on.
Right.
Even though what she's focused on is probably the right thing for me to be focused on, but I just haven't grown to that point yet.
Right.
And I may never grow to that point until I'm in her role. And I think that's just the reality of a lot of like being a leader, is that your team is not going to do what you do until they get in your role.
Right.
And some of them ain't never gonna get in your role.
But I think when it comes to expectations though, would it be selfish if you only consider your own expectations?
Oh, is it?
That's what I'm saying.
Is it?
Because how then can you influence others to meet your expectations without seeing what their expectations are?
Dang, that's deep right there, man. So it goes back to what's important and what's in it for them.
Right. Yeah.
What's important to that person.
Right.
And that's where you have to really channel. You hit it right on the head.
Yeah,
you hit it right on the head.
Because I'm a rebel at heart, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care how petty your expectations is. I'm not meeting them, and I don't care to meet them. Like, don't put no expectations on me. I hate it, right? And I'm not gonna say I hate it, but for the mere fact that sometimes expectations are pretty much selfish.
Uh-huh.
You know, it has nothing to do with me, but everything to do with your benefits.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm like, now, when you put this expectation, now it's a difference when you see something in me and you expect me to meet, you know what I mean, what you see in me. Like, I see something in you. I expect you to do better than what you're doing now.
Yep.
Because I know it's there.
Yep.
That's different than saying, hey, I got this goal. I need you to hit this goal. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, what's so funny, right? We were in a meeting and because he just got promoted, his assistant manager was like, yeah, like, I know I need to motivate you by talking to you about getting to the next level because that's what you cared about. So every conversation I had with you was about getting you to the next level.
Right.
And he was like, dang, you sure did do that. And I asked a simple question. Did it work?
Right. Right.
Yeah. Like, it worked. I'm here, right? Like,
right.
So like that's the part where it's like, you do have to eliminate your expectations for people, find out what's important for them or to them.
Yeah.
And then
see how it works for yours.
You know? So I'm a big believer in I'm learning to be even more of a believer in, and I've seen great success from it recently, but having unnecessary conversations. Right?
Why you call it that?
Because okay, I'll tell you why I call you that. Story time.
Wait.
Story time. And I didn't get this at the time. But I had an area manager one time, right?
Small talk.
Sometimes you have to have unnecessary conversations. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you talking about? She's like, you know, everything don't have to be about business. She was like, you know, you just sometimes you gotta just talk just to talk.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Like, why would I talk just to talk? Like, what is that? That don't make no sense to me.
Oh man.
You know, like because you know, this was 5 years ago probably, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe 6 years ago this time. But it's like, but now I realize it though. It's like, and what she was saying was, you got to get to know the person.
Makes sense.
It's not all about the business and moving the number and those things. You really got to get to know the person.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the part where I really didn't understand. Like,
right.
No, we're here to do a job. Like, you get paid to do something. Like, you need to come and do it. Period. Right.
Well, that's management, not leadership.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo. Right. So, and I had to learn how to be a leader.
I love it.
Versus being a manager. I love it. Right.
I love it.
Because that's the difference. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
So, so that's where I'm growing him at is being a leader, not just being a manager.
I love it, man.
So, that's why I tell you, man, I love leadership, bro. I woke up. No, I think it was Monday. It was Monday. I woke up Monday, man, and I was like, man, I'm so happy that I get the chance to do this. Like, I'm so grateful that I get a chance to like positively impact people every single day.
Makes sense.
Right?
Yeah.
And then we got a negative customer service review. And I was pissed again. But
brought you back.
Brought me back down to management. But hey, we should do a pod on that though. Management versus leadership. Is just like,
I think that'd be dope.
But
I think people need to know the difference.
Yeah.
Just because you're a manager don't make you a leader.
Yeah.
You know what
1,000%.
Yeah.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to say something like I'm gonna try to come up with a bar real quick. We'll see if it land. If I can come up with something.
I'm gonna put my
managers get results. Leaders make impact.
Bars.
There we go. create impact.
I appreciate you hitting it before you heard the whole thing.
Nah, I knew you was going with it. I think I heard that before though.
Oh, is that a real thing?
I don't know.
All this stuff is.
You read so much. You listen.
Yes.
Yeah. You do a lot of personal development. Yeah, so yeah. True. But I agree. Yeah.
So but yeah. So I woke up. I just woke up though, and I was like grateful and like thankful because I you know, here's the reality too, right? Like I think we kind of take this for granted too, where like you don't know how long you got to live. Right. I know that's how I keep.
Yeah, we're talking about dying,
but it's just the reality, though, right? Like you just don't know how much time. But also, right, like when you're performing, so you know, as upset as I am that we finished, you know, number 24, right? Like it's still in the top 20%, right? So
I was gonna say, what are your expectations though?
Oh, come on now. So come on now. I have none. I have none now. But like the reality of it is too is that if I put together a better performance over this next year, this could be my last year in Albany. You know what I'm saying? Like,
where we going next?
I don't know. Ain't no telling.
Hey,
ain't no telling. But it could be though. It could be my like. And it's just like so. Now I'm like, I told my guys yesterday, man. I was like, man, I'm happy I'm able to work with y'all.
Right.
Like I remember what we were when I first got there, and who we are today. Right. And the team that we have today. Like I'm grateful every day. Right. That I get a chance to like train and develop and like help you guys get to where you guys want to go. Right. You know, like that's just something special in my in my heart where it's just like. I don't know, and I don't know if it's like a victory lap. I don't know what it is, but like, I feel it. I just feel it's different. It's different. Okay. It's almost like, and I made me think about our. We had a pod where we started talking about, okay, this is what we're gonna do, right? In December 25.
Oh yeah, we almost here.
You know,
next year.
It's next year.
Next year,
right? So like, like it's looking like a real reality, right? If we can continue to, if I can manage people, but but like. It's just looking like a real possibility, and I just don't take that lightly, bro. Like I just, so I think that if we eliminate our expectations for people, man, and just really get to know the person and really get to understand them, we can really go. We can do something special. That's a bar. Not just do something good. We can do something special.
That's a bar. You know, that's a bar. I think. Because the way the conversation is going is not how I expected it.
And me either.
Eliminate your expectations, but that's the key to. That's the thing, man. Like sometimes our expectation put limits on how far we can achieve something. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm getting out of this conversation is that sometimes we have to eliminate our expectations so we can see the board. And see the people that we are leading or having encounters with because ultimately dang man, if I would have known this now back then it probably would have saved me 10 years, bro. Because just like yourself, like I remember being with Amway and then working in with a real estate investment team, and I was so focused and my expectations was to hit this number or make this amount of money, but my expectations blinded me from seeing all of the because I didn't hit the expectations or I didn't hit the mark, but it blinded me from seeing not only the impact that I had on other people, but the progression of my own life or the knowledge that I accumulated over the course of of being an entrepreneur in either Amway or real estate or whatever. You see what I'm saying? So. That makes sense, man. When we talk, that's why we can't plan this out, bro.
Right.
We can't plan this out, bro. Like, they just hit me. Like, expectations sometimes will create barriers.
Yeah. It do. It do.
So
it do. And that's where, bro. Like that's where almost where the magic happens too, because I think as leadership, you have to go past those barriers.
Right. Yeah.
And past the barriers of just management. And sometimes, bro, you gotta get your point across too.
That's true.
Lyric of the week.
Wait. Hold on. There we go.
So lyric of the week. Lyric of the week comes from Drake.
Okay.
And Drake says, "They say that I'm mean. I just mean what I say." And sometimes, bro, like whenever you are like leading people and you're in that spot where you kind of also have to manage them a little bit.
Right.
It can come across, rude, disrespectful, mean, or whatever you want to call it. But like, no, this is what I'm telling you this because I need for you to become a better leader or manager yourself. Okay. And become a better person, right? Like, okay. I've been having a lot more candid conversations just with my leaders.
Right.
On like how they can be better, not just for their team, but also their personal life as well.
Makes sense.
And that's the part where it's like, you just have to step out, like you said, step outside those boundaries to be able to continue to make a positive impact, not just professionally,
right,
but personally as well.
I feel this podcast going a different direction.
Yeah.
So now I'm finna ask.
All right.
When is a good time to have expectations? Because now how I'm seeing it to kind of tie it in to eliminate micro expectations. But I believe there are expectations that we should, like you say, they say don't mean, but I mean what I say. Sometimes we have to lay the law down and tell people what we expect.
Yeah.
But the expectation is not wrapped up in selfishness.
Right.
The expectation is wrapped up in people reaching a mark to better themselves too.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Speaking of benchmarks.
Yeah.
That's what you have to have.
Yeah.
You have to have benchmarks, right?
Yeah.
Your benchmarks is going to tell. And the reason why I say benchmarks, I say benchmarks because I'm thinking about.
I like marks.
Like,
let's keep going with the marks.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, shoot,
I got a scripture. Go ahead.
Shoot,
Nah, go ahead.
But benchmarks are almost like just spots where you want to be at, right? Or spots that you want to hit. And that could be a tangible number, right?
Right.
But the expectation is that the process that we get the process right.
Right.
If that makes sense, right? So yes, this is the benchmark. This is where we need to be at, right? And if we don't hit that, okay, let's have a conversation regarding why we didn't hit that. But I'm not going to focus so much on the number.
Right.
I'm going to focus on the process. And why didn't you hit the number? What did you not do differently? And here's the other part too, where, bro, you got to realize, man, like sometimes you can do all the things, you can do all the right things, and still have a bad result.
No, that's true.
That's just the reality of it. And
yeah, that's true.
Because, the science of getting rich, taught us, right? Like, it's not what you do, it's how you do it.
I think go ahead, bro.
It's the spirit in which you do it. You got to do it in the right spirit. That's just the reality of it, man. And it's unfortunate for those people that.
My bad. No, that's my Bible app.
And it popped up like that?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
They trying to incorporate some social media stuff in the Bible app. I just want a scripture, bro. I don't need all that. Go ahead, bro. My bad.
I thought Joshua was going to chime in on it.
Nah, man. Nah. But Apostle Paul said something here, man, that I just want to bring to the table since we're talking about marks, benchmarks. He's talking about press towards the mark. And us as believers, man, like this is a principle that we should know well because we're Christians, man. I think the belief of believers that we should be perfect. When Paul said, "Nah, we pressing towards the mark," it's not this Bible app is tripping, bro. It's not the expectations of looking perfect, but pressing towards the mark. You know what I mean? Not to do everything right, but to be whole. Like, again, you talk about the process. That mark is a mark that comes before the process. It's really all about the process. You know what I mean? The mark is just there to push you through the process, if that makes sense. And I think sometimes we have to look at expectations in that way. It's not about hitting the number, but it's about the process of getting to that number.
Yep.
And to be fair, social climates may change. Your environment may change. The economy may change. So it may not be all technical techniques what it takes to do this, but it may be, okay, who do you become when this issue comes up? And then what wisdom are you gaining from that experience? You know what I mean? And that, my friend, will help you to become the person you need to become to do the things you call to do. You feel me? To get to that mark in the future. Man, for instance, story time.
Story time.
I said I was going to do the scripture of the day, but I'm going to tell a story. So my wife and I, man, we was looking for a house what was that? 2020, it was 2 years ago, 2022. Okay. Man, in the market in Atlanta or Georgia, y'all probably know that the market was crazy. Like, I think the prices of the houses shot up because it was a seller's market. Yeah. 2 years ago. So we got caught up in the seller's market. And I'm telling you, man, we kept getting outbidded. We would look for a house. We would bid on a house. It'd be like 20, 25 other bidders on the house paying over. You know what I mean? People wasn't offering closing costs. And at this time, she was pregnant, too. And we only had like maybe 6 months till Amon came. And it just didn't work out. We had a contract on a house in February where the interest rate was like, I think we had it on the contract for 2.5%.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, but what happened is that it was a short sale. So the contract, we was trying to hold down that interest rate. But what happened is the prime rate went up, which causes the interest rate to go up on houses. So February, we've been on the contract for like 3 months, man, from February all the way to February, March, April, May. I think we got close to that July mark. We was on the contract. Amon was supposed to come. Amon came in August. Now, this is how close we're, because we got to get out before Amon comes. We need to be in our house. Man, we got to a point where we could no longer hold that house on the contract for that interest rate, man. So we had to let it go. And I think when we let it go was like at 6 point. It went up to 6.5. Yeah. So we had to let that house go or whatever. But
yeah,
I felt like a failure as a husband. And I'm like, man, like, yo, like we supposed to be in the house before a month. We had these expectations. You know what I mean? Like we had these, all right, we need to be in the house before our son is born, this and that and other. And it just didn't happen, man. But now, this year, 2024, I was so traumatized from 2 years ago. You know, we were working with our real estate agent now, and she was like, hey, it's going to take about 3 months. I'm like, you sure? Like, it took like 6, 7, 8 months last time. So that ain't going to be that long. Yo, the process was so smooth. And we closed on the house. Like, it was so easy. It scared me, bro.
Yeah.
Because of my last experience.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that we had these...
Congratulations, by the way.
Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We had these expectations to close, have a house by, a month, by the time he's born or whatever. And it didn't quite go through. But that wasn't our fault. It was the economy. But the person that we became through that, because we learned so much about real estate. We learned so much about interest rate, the prime rate going up. Now the prime rate is about to go back down. We're going to see the biggest refi in history, because a lot of people now going back to refi because of the interest rate. But we learned so much in that period that now when we got this house, it was like a breeze. We became better, in our search. We became better on how we communicated to the real estate agent and the lenders. So that process taught us a lot. Although we didn't hit what we expected to hit or that mark, but the process made us better. Yeah. And those were external conditions that we could not control. So we had to, or we should have, alleviate expectations, because I had so much anxiety and stuff.
Yeah, even your real estate agent, right? Like she's able to guide you even better through it, and like, oh no, it's gonna be, like, because sometimes, and that's the perfect example, right? Sometimes people have so much trauma, like it's hard for them to really see it and understand it and like really feel like it's gonna happen for them. Yeah. But that's why that leadership is so important.
Leadership, yeah.
And like, hey, relax. Yeah. Just do this, X, Y, and Z. You'll be fine. We're going to make sure you do, boom, 3 months, boom.
Right. But you know what, too? I did learn a great deal to learn how to manage my emotions. You know what I mean? So, like, then we had a team where every time something happened, it was a panic. Like, you know what I mean? We was just shook. I couldn't sleep, anxiety, but this time, like, man, I'm like, I'm going to just leave it in the Lord's hand, man. And I'm like, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, then, he's our provider, Jehovah Jireh, so I'm not really tripping about that, man.
And that's a good song, by the way. Jehovah Jireh by Jacqueline Carr. I don't know if I said her name right. It's a really good song. Yeah. You ain't heard it yet. It's a really good song.
Oh, not a story, but Katina, one of our clients, I produced her podcast. She did a workshop on the names of God, and Jehovah Jireh is something that she went into detail on, man. It's deep. Yeah, man, it's deep. But I definitely got to know Jehovah Jireh, my provider. I got to know him intimately in that arena. But I do want to bring up this scripture right here. I want to start from, this is Philippians. We're going to go to chapter 3. Where do I want to start, man? Okay, we'll start at 13. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forth unto those things which are before. I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Jesus Christ. So I think all in all, man, like being believers too, with this in mind, you know, we're pressing towards the mark of the calling of Jesus Christ. And then when we talk about calling, that's a whole different topic, you know, because there's so much that is incorporated in that calling that God is calling us to. But what he's saying is he's telling us to look forward, you know, and we might have had minor setbacks or expectations that failed us. But the main goal and job is to keep pressing towards a mark.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Keep
pressing towards the mark, man. So, yeah, y'all go check that out. Philippians 3, I read. Yeah, Philippians 3, 13 and 14, man. Yeah, read that whole chapter.
You know what's so crazy about that?
What's that?
So, you know, I went on this journey of like understanding who Jesus is and like my own, like more from was it objective view. How long ago was that? Was that like,
it had been, what was that, January, February?
Okay, so like 6-8 months now at this point. Like 9 months at this point.
Yeah.
So, you know what's so crazy? Because I was pressing towards that mark, right?
How far did you get, by the way?
Bro, I'm on Revelations.
Okay.
So like I read pretty much the entire
New Testament. Wow.
Never thought that I would ever read like the New Testament. Like I just never was my goal.
Shoot, you got.
I just read a chapter a day.
I ain't never read the whole. I don't even think I read the whole Bible.
But now I will say, and I didn't like. I read Matthew, Mark, like all those like before. So like I didn't read those.
Right.
That's not. But I'm just saying like in my lifetime.
Right.
Like I've read, like once I finished Revelations, like I read like the whole. You know, which is that's something I never thought that I would ever do.
Right.
Like so it just kind of shows like once you just start going and you have that initial goal in your mind of like what you want to hit,
right,
just start going towards it and you'll be surprised where you end up. And it reminds me of that Facing the Giant movie. You ever seen Facing the Giants?
Oh man, you got to see it.
One more down, Brock. One more down. You know, oh man.
Somebody.
Like it's hard. Like it's the movie is hard though. Like but bro, we gotta pull it up. Can you pull it up? Can you
Facing the Giants?
Are you able to pull up on the thing? You just need to see it. Like you just gotta see the clip, or maybe you just insert it or something. I don't know, but like it's hard though. But basically, like I don't want to say I don't want to say it, but like because I want people to see it. Go Facing the Giants and like bear crawl. Type in bear crawl Facing the Giants. It should pop up. But
that's a movie. Okay,
it's a movie. Yeah. So you know the church we go to, Sherwood, they produced that movie.
Oh really?
Okay. It's a big like Christian movie or whatever.
Oh. Okay.
But anyway, but yeah, but you will be surprised on how far you can go if you just give it your all. Just start.
Just keep going. So what are we saying here? What we're saying is alleviate expectations.
Yeah.
But have a benchmark.
Have a benchmark. Because like the benchmark will like just getting pressed towards the mark though, right?
Yeah.
In the process, and embrace the process.
It's for the pressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like again, like if you understand, bro, like if you understand that, like if you really, really, truly just focus on getting better and becoming more,
right,
do more,
right,
like
yeah,
you will be amazed, amazed at how much further you'll be from your mark, and trying to lead people through management and through like goals and like this is what you need to be at, and it's cool, but there's another level where you can lead through actual leadership and personal relationships.
I think that's another layer to leadership too. because I think we talked about this in one of the pods. How it's easier to lead yourself than others.
Yeah, facts.
Because like I think as a leader, once you hit that mark becomes easier. Mm-hmm. But to some, that mark may not be as easy. Mm-hmm. So now you got to coach them through the mark. And you know what I mean? And then you see all of the struggles that you've been through, and you have to now inspire them to get through those struggles. And I think that's another layer, because you've been there. So now you have the capacity or grace to get them there to that mark, if they're willing.
If they're willing.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yep.
Okay.
That's all I got.
That's all I got, man. That was good, bro.
Yeah.
I didn't bring my journal so I can write it down, but y'all go get y'all's to go write it down, man. Make sure y'all get that What Am I Doing Right journal in Amazon. Is What Am I Doing, WRITE, right? This journal is a game changer, man. It's a wholeness journal, man. I don't know, no journal where you can check your physical, your health.
Doesn't exist.
Your mental, your spiritual. It's a purposeful journal, man. Y'all get that journal.
Until now.
Yeah, right. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell. Hit the bell, bro. I think we can get this out of here. We out.
All right, man.
Peace.
Stick and move, we can get it done. Call it unity, it ain't no way around it. Cultivating, we get motivation from the big guy. We don't play about him. Going hard for the game, showing.